Hello everybody and welcome to January's book haul. So I've got 3 bags of books to go through, all from Waterstones at different stages. The first lot was from an earlier trip in the month, and the second lot of books are from today when I went down to Lakeside. So let's start with the first trip book. I don't know if I mentioned on here actually, but there was 2 copies of V. Schwab's Addie LaRue that I had, and I was deciding which one to take back because I bought one not on a whim, because I've been wanting to read it for a while, and I bought one before I realised that there was a really cute illustrated edition. Ultimately I ended up keeping the illustrated edition, so when I returned the other book I picked up 2 other books in its stead, so I paid more but I digress. So the first one is A Storm of Sisters by Michelle Harrison. This is the 4th book in the A Pinch of Magic adventure. I have loved these stories. I've been talking about them non-stop since I first got into them, and they're just a really fun fantasy, magical sort of story for middle grade readers, or it's aimed at middle grade readers, but of course anyone can read them, following 3 sisters as they have sort of witchy magic, like literally little pinches of magic, as the title of the series is called. And yeah, this is the 4th adventure for these 3, so I'm really looking forward to getting into these. I always have such a great time when I get into them. I feel like you could read these as standalones. They have their own stories, and the story concludes at each book, but I feel like it's best to start from the beginning because you get more character development and you get to know and really love the sisters in this. So yeah, that is A Storm of Sisters. Next up I got the sequel to the Broken Earth trilogy, and that is The Obelisk Gate. Well, this is the sequel to the 5th season. I've yet to read the 5th season, but I thought it's a series that I'm probably going to really love, so I would like to have the second one at least to hand. And I've heard amazing things about N.K. Jemisin, so I really need to get into it, to be honest. I think I'm at that point where I feel like I'm going to love their work so much that my internalised hope is pushing me to the complete opposite side of the spectrum, and I'm avoiding the work. So I just really need to get into it, to be honest. Maybe a buddy read for the first book might help introduce me gently into the world of N.K. Jemisin. Right. Second bag of books. Again, these lot now were from today. So I got a mixture of paperbacks and hardbacks. Seem to still have their half price hardback book deal going on. So I've seen so many amazing reviews for this, and so I decided to pick it up whilst it was there, and half price as well. And it's The 7 Moons of Marley Almeida by Shihan Karunatalika, and isn't this a trippy, beautiful cover? I love the colours, it really calls to me. It was the winner. Oh, I didn't realise it was the winner of the Booker Prize. I knew it was part of it from 2022, but I didn't realise it was the winner. And a lot of people have said that it's a really justified winner. Sometimes the Booker Prize can be quite a hit and miss thing, but apparently a lot of people have loved this, and it sounds really, really unique. A searing satire set amid the murderous mayhem of Sri Lanka beset by civil war. Colombo 1990, Marley Almeida, war photographer, gambler and closet gay, has woken up dead in what seems like a celestial visa office. His dismembered body is sinking in the Beera Lake, and he has no idea who killed him. At a time when scores are settled by death squads, suicide bombers and hired goons, the list of suspects is depressingly long, as the ghouls and ghosts who cluster around him can attest. But even in the afterlife, time is running out for Marley. He has 7 moons to try and contact the man and woman he loves most and lead them to a hidden cache of photos that will rock Sri Lanka. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. It's got a beautiful Cadbury rich purple shade underneath with an orange end paper, which is stunning. And yeah, I feel like this sounds absolutely beautiful. I specifically watched TikTok Sharon Joy reading. I'm pretty sure she did a review for this recently and really raved about it. Funnily enough, she also mentioned this one. She said this was a book that really creeped her out when she was a child or an adolescent, teen or whatever, and she decided to pick it up again and see if it scared her just as much, and apparently she really did enjoy it, and it was just as creepy as she remembered. So it looks like it's been given a new cover design and a re-release, and this is Alan Garner's The Owl Service. I was intrigued as soon as I saw that it had an introduction by Philip Pullman, who I really do enjoy. But yeah, so I'd only really seen her review on Sharon Joy's TikTok, so I hadn't heard of it beforehand, so let's see what it's about. From the moment Alison discovers the dinner service in the attic, with its curious pattern of floral owls, a chain of events is set in progress that is to affect everybody's lives. Something old and powerful is stirring in the Welsh Valley. Alison, Roger and Gwyn can all feel it, but only Hugh seems to understand it. Inevitably, forces from the past overwhelm the present. Will any of them be strong enough to forestall the fate that threatens? Oh my god, so apparently it was 50 years after it was first published. So let's see if it stands the test of time, which Sharon seems to think it does, so I'm looking forward to trying that for the first time. On the paperback, I buy one get one half price, and I decided to pick up The Haunting Season, Ghostly Tales for Long Winter Nights. And it's got a plethora of different authors. It's got Bridget Collins, Imogen Hermes, Goa, Kira Millward-Hargrave, lots and lots of authors that I think dwell in the unusual, magical realism, sometimes spooky, gothic literature. So I'm looking forward to getting into this, and it's just a selection of short, spooky stories. I think a lot of people was reading this back in October, but it came out in 2021. And yeah, there seems to be a short selection of stories. We've got A Study in Black and White by Bridget Collins, Thwaites Tennant by Imogen Hermes Goa, The Eel Singers by Natasha Pulley, Lily Wilt by Jess Kidd, The Chillingham Chair by Laura Purcell, The Hanging of the Greens by Andrew Michael Hurley, Confinement by Kieran Millward-Hargrave, and Monster by Elizabeth McNeil. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. Hopefully I'll get to it still during the winter period, so it's very like fitting for that time, but I tend to pick up things whenever really, so and also joining in that buy one get one half price, the new release from Rick Riordan. I love this cover actually. I've been holding off on his book covers because I prefer the deluxe editions, I think they're called. I used to think they were only exported from like USA, but it looks like you can buy them anywhere now. They're just called the deluxe editions, and they're like the nice illustrated ones, whereas I find that the ones over here tend to have people's faces on, but it doesn't look that way for this. But anyway, it's The Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan, and this looks like it's a new series that is in the Percy Jackson universe. I love how shiny that cover is. So it says, a brave new hero, another league of adventure. Anna Dakar is a student at the prestigious and top secret Harding-Pencroft Academy, a school that trains the bravest and best underwater explorers in the world. Ever since Anna lost her parents at sea, the water has held mystery she's determined to unlock. But when Anna and her friends depart on their first sea trial, things take a perilous turn. They find themselves pursued by a ruthless enemy hell-bent on stealing the secrets that the academy is founded on. Only Anna and her class of half-trained freshmen stand against them. With danger on the horizon, the battle to save Anna's world begins at sea. Oh, that sounds amazing. And I love that on the spine, this is like a new thing they're doing now. They've got character art. I don't see how well you're going to see that, but stunning. Oh, I'm really looking forward to this. Then I picked up a memoir that I've been wanting to read for quite some time actually, and it is Heavy, an American memoir by Kesey Lehman. Kesey Lehman grew up a hard-headed black son to a complicated and brilliant black mother in Jackson, Mississippi. From his early experiences of sexual violence to his suspension from college to his time in New York as a college professor, Lehman charts his complex relationship with his mother, grandmother, anorexia, obesity, sex, writing, and ultimately gambling. Powerful, insightful, and provocative, this award-winning memoir combines personal stories with piercing intellect to reflect both on abuse and on the strife of American society. This sounds like it is going to be heavy in content, but also the topics of his weight and identity, like sexuality, all those sort of things. It seems like it's going to be really woven in, so looking forward to that, but I know it's going to be a bit of a hard read, I would think. And the last bag seems to have the last three hardbacks that I got, and they are, I know I said I was sort of umming about this series, but I didn't realise 3 volumes are already out now, and I decided to, on a whim, get the Waterstones exclusive edition of volume 2 of Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. I think I gave it like 2 stars, the first volume. The colours were beautiful, but I felt like the story just wasn't giving the most to pull me back into this world. I'm hoping volume 2, I did say I'd want to check out volume 2, but I haven't really seen them, well, I haven't actively looked, but I haven't seen them at like the libraries or anything like that, so I still feel like just leaving it at volume 1 isn't enough for me to get a good gauge of if I enjoy it or not. So I'm going to give it like a couple of volumes and see. I know they're quite expensive, but I feel like hopefully these would be relatively easy to sell on. if I do decide to just get rid of what I own, if I don't vibe by like the 3rd or 4th one. So yeah, this is Law Olympus Volume 2. I also saw these 2 books. I don't think I'd heard of them beforehand, but this one in particular sounds really lovely, and I really love the colours on it. It kind of gives me like milkshakey vibes. But this is Take Care by Chloe Pierre, The Black Woman's Guide to Wellness. And how stunning is this cover? It's gorgeous. Join the Wellness Revolution by Black Women for Black Women. In Take Care, wellness advocate Chloe Pierre brings black women to the forefront of the wellness conversation and reframes it to not just include them, but to centre them, covering topics such as self-advocacy, mental health, self-care, grief and healing, and beauty and motherhood. This book looks at radical ways black women can feel and live better and learn not to pour from an empty cup. Chloe creates a space for black women to cultivate their joy and not be fractured by the expectations placed on their shoulders, to feel uplifted and in control of their lives. Take Care is not just a carefree wish, it's the foundation our lives should be built upon. Consulting experts and sharing her own experiences, Chloe offers an inclusive and inspiring guide for any black women wanting to feel happier, lighter and valued. Lovely. And a beautiful orange marmalade cover underneath to show the upliftingness of this book. And the last one that might not be as uplifting because I feel like it's a history that's very hidden, but this is something that I'm really excited to get into actually. It's called Black England, Forgotten Georgian History by Gretchen Gerzina, sorry. It looks stunning. First of all, that art piece is gorgeous. It is really beautiful, and I think it is what it says on the tin, to be honest. It's the hidden history, pretty much. Not even hidden, just forgotten, not talked about. So yeah, hidden, of being black in England throughout the years and the ages, particularly Georgian history. It seems that it's actually taking you further back to when people first thought black people came into England, and yeah, we run much deeper than that. I love this plum undercover and this beautiful, I guess, Georgian motif in terms of like the wallpaper design. Very classic. So, the idea that Britain became a mixed-race country after 1945 is a common mistake. Georgian England had a large and distinctive black community. Whether prosperous citizens or newly freed slaves, they all ran the risk of kidnap and sale to plantations. Black England tells their dramatic, often moving stories. In the 18th century, black people could be found in clubs and pubs. There were special churches, black-only balls, and organisations for helping black people who were out of work or in trouble. Many were famous and respected, most notably Francis Barber, Dr. Johnson's beloved manservant, Ignatius Sancho, a correspondent of Lawrence Sterne, Francis Williams, a Cambridge scholar, and Oluwado Equiano, whose interest in narrative went into multiple editions. But far more were ill-paid and ill-treated servants or beggars, despite having served Britain in war and on the seas. For alongside the free world there was slavery, from which many of these black Britons had escaped. The triumphs and tortures of black England, the ambivalent relations between the races, sometimes tragic, sometimes heartwarming, are brought to life in this wonderfully readable history. Black England explores a fascinating chapter of our shared past, a chapter that has been ignored for too long. Sounds absolutely phenomenal. And again, the sort of history that you just really don't get taught in schools, or at least I never got taught. Hi guys, sorry for the really rough setup. I'm just interjecting just before the end of this January haul, just to include, oh bye bye Elsa, the books that didn't arrive, or the books that I literally got in the tail end of January that I didn't show in the earlier part of this haul. So I did get 2 pre-orders. Well, I got 1 pre-order and another book, and I think actually these are for December potentially, but I'm just going to chuck them in the January haul, seeing as that's going to be the most relevant. Nevertheless, I'll put them in this video. So I made my first purchase off of the Broken Binding bookshop online. I got Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldray, and everybody and their mother, I feel, has absolutely loved this. It's described as this kind of new to me niche of cozy fantasy, where it says high fantasy and low stakes, which I absolutely adore. This one has really beautiful spreads. It's got lattes and swords on a beautiful pink background. I adore this art. It's recently come out in a different hardback design, but I prefer this one. I think it's beautiful, and it even came with an art print as well. Yeah, it's stunning, and it's got this design on the underneath. Oh no, my battery is now flashing. And then I also I sort of got a delay in the shipment of this, and I think the main thing at first was the pre-order, but then they said they ship orders separately, so I was a bit confused. I think it might have just been like the strikes and stuff still making a bit of delays. But I got a pre-order for The God Killer by Hannah Kaner, and again, this is a release that everyone has been excited about, so yes, it's absolutely stunning. Although it's got kind of just dull spreads. I've seen the Waterstones exclusive looks really more exciting than this one, which is sad to say, but I do love the naked hardcover. That's absolutely stunning, and I love that it's got a beautiful world map underneath as well. So yes, and I believe this is signed to, sorry, I'm like rushing now, it's just started to flash at me. Another one that is definitely from December, but we both sort of forgot. My other half bought me this when we was up in Soho, but he forgot to give it to me for Christmas. He said it reminds him of the horror manga that I like, Elsa, which is Junji Ito. We've been watching the Junji Ito show on Netflix recently, but this isn't by him. This is Tracked by Shintaro Kago, and I hadn't heard of this author before, but it looks really cool, and it looks like that sort of art that I enjoy from Junji Ito. So he said, I thought you'd like it because you like that other sort of like illustrations. I was like, that's very sweet. So yeah, it looks like a silent manga though. It doesn't seem to have any text or anything on the pages. I have January's Fairy Loot, so if you want to skip ahead, do so. We're nearly at the end anyway, but this is for the adult book only option, and this is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I've gone into detail for at least 3 of these books in this little pile over on my TikTok if you're interested. This is by Roshani Chokshi, and yeah, oh my god, this looks like it's going to be something I would really enjoy, so hopefully I get on well with this one. And lastly, a W.H. Smith purchase. I got very excited when I saw this book because I really enjoyed this author's other series that I've read, and this is Trudy Canavan's Thief's Magic Book 1 in the Millennium's Rule. I think it's a trilogy, and it's a nice floppy book, so yes. I was going to pick up the second book that was there too, but it was like the 3rd in the series, so I thought, nah, I'll just leave it. So yeah, let's get back to the original content of this video. So that is it. Those are all the books. I think I had maybe like 11 or 12 books to share with you there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've picked up any of these yourself, and for now I shall speak to you in another video. Bye.